Well, we're moving on now to the side.
Yes.
To the
George Jefferson, one of the greatest characters in the history of television. We have a rating, greatest characters in the history of TV. Sherman Hemsley as George Jefferson has to be near the top. He was incredible in All in the Family. So good, in fact. I guess Norman Lear and that crew, whoever that was, were like, boy, we could spin this off easy. What a great show. Hysterical. I was like a kid loving this show. Yep. Thank you, Mr. Drew Brees. I think it's pronounced Brees. Corey Johnson back at you. A wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Are you kidding me? I swear, as you get older, the weeks just fly by. The days fly by. They did a study. I don't know what school or university or group did this study. They basically put a bunch of people in a room for 15 minutes. People under the age of 30 and people over the age of 60. They came back 15 minutes later, asked the folks under 30, how long do you think you've been sitting in the room? 28 minutes, 32 minutes, 35 minutes. They asked the people over 60, how long did they feel they were sitting in the room? 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. So the folks over 60, that 15 minutes to them went by in like 7, 8, 9 minutes. The kids under 30, it was like a half hour for that 15 minutes. So no, as you get older, it seems to go by faster. As you're a kid, it seems to go by so slow. I'll never forget, I guess I was at St. Andrews on Oak Street, right off Carrollton. Even though we grew up by UNO, we trekked the 9 miles up Wise and Carrollton every day, and then dumped me off over at St. Andrews. It must have been 5th or 6th grade, St. Andrews on Oak Street, which, by the way, has expanded their campus now. They pretty much go from Short Street all the way through to Carrollton. I think they took over the house across the street from the church that has all the pumpkins in the yard. I think that was the old Burger King owner's house back in the day, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I think it was 5th or 6th grade at St. Andrews, if I'm not mistaken, when, I don't know, that was kind of going down in my life. Fantasy Friday edition of the program, wide open Wednesday. Yeah, you right. Yikes. I'm thinking about schools, Jason. Too many for me. Too many. I feel like I'm a Navy or Army brat, but I never left New Orleans, and it's multiple schools. Anyway, Fantasy Friday, a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Hump Day. Yeah, you right. A lot to discuss on the program, like too much to discuss, including elections, the New Orleans City Council gaining the power to approve the mayor's appointees, the department heads. I think they're like anywhere from like 9 to 12 different appointees that the mayor throws out there and normally just gets to do. It could be Sewage and Water Board head, NOPD, Fire, Department of Public Works. She gets to choose. In this case, she, the mayor of New Orleans. Normally, it's just a done deal. But now, like Jefferson Parish, like most municipalities and cities across the country, the council approves those mayor or parish or county presidents, the mayor, the city. They approve those appointees. The elected mayor or president comes up with the appointees, gets to choose, but the council approves those choices. Anyway, definitely a blow to LaToya, the Destroyer Cantrell. Definitely a blow to the executive branch of government in New Orleans, but I don't have a problem with it because the executive branch of government in New Orleans is, I think, a little too powerful to begin with. Yeah, a lot going on. Democrat Warnock, Republican Walker, a runoff in Georgia in a month. Senate seats in Arizona, Nevada, still too close to call. New York, California, they have some undecided House seats. Fetterman beats Dr. Oz. J.D. Vance beats incumbent Democrat Tim Ryan in Ohio. I guess not the red wave that was expected. I mean, I don't know. I think if you're a Democrat in politics, you're hoping you can keep this red wave, tapped down a little bit. I guess there was some success there, but I think even Democrats expected it. The president at midterms, whatever party the president is, usually at midterms, no matter how good or bad that president's doing, they lose that party, the president's party. They lose some representation in the Senate and Congress. It usually happens every time. This year was expected to be no different, and that was the case. House and Senate still up for grabs. But the red wave of taking over the Senate, clearly taking over the House, did not go down as expected. And I think it just sort of proves what I'm always talking about. I mean, pick your poison. The Democrats are a 2-14 ball club. The Republicans are 3-13. Yeah. You want to use the 12-game college schedule? One's 2-10, the other's 3-9. One's 1-11, the other's 2-10. I mean, it's frick and frack. Neither one is a 500 ball club. Not even close. Like years away from that. Major coaching change, player infusion, just to get to 500. And not a playoff caliber team at all. And not a playoff caliber team that can make a deep run, and not a Super Bowl team. So you're like 4 steps away. You're not even 500. You're not even slipping in the back door of the playoffs. You're not a team that can make a deep run in the playoffs, and you're not a Super Bowl contender for sure. No, Democrats and Republicans are they're I don't know, folks that hook their wagon to Democrat and Republican and act like it's just something incredible is mind-blowing to me. And it's usually nothing about hyping themselves. It's about bashing the other side. Whatever happened to be number one and don't step on number two to get there? I mean, I don't know. With Democrats, it's just bash the Republicans. And with Republicans, it's just bash the Democrats. It's never about what either side has accomplished, because I really think they accomplished so little. So little. John Kennedy, 62% of the vote. Clay Higgins, 64%. Steve Scalise, 74%. Garrett Graves, 80%. Troy Carter, 77%. Julie Letlow, 68%. Steve Scalise wants to be the House Majority Leader. Some were saying Speaker of the House. I think Speaker of the Senate is the number one spot. On the House, Speaker of the House, in the Senate, the majority leader is the Senate leader. The Senate majority leader is the number one person in the Senate. The Speaker of the House is the number one leader in the House, and I think the House majority leader is number 2 in the House, and Steve Scalise wants to be that House majority leader. I'll give you a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate if you can name a bill or legislation that Steve Scalise authored and passed and became law. Can you name one single Steve Scalise authored bill that Steve Scalise proposed, that he authored, that has become law? Steve Scalise has been a congressman for a long, long time representing Southeast Louisiana. Can you name a bill or law that Steve Scalise authored, that he was the sole author of, that something that he passed? You know what? I'm breaking my own rules. I'll let you use Google, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, Bing, the search engines if you want. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480, 504-766-9480. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. If you can name me a bill, some legislation that Steve Scalise authored himself, was the primary author. If there was a secondary, co-author, Scalise was number one. It's his bill, his legislation, and it became law. Name one, and I'll let you use search engines on this one. And I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Corey Johnson with you. The mayor wants a new city hall, maybe in a high-rise building on Poydras. We'll talk about that and more. I think I've got a better idea. A gorgeous Wednesday afternoon.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about fresh local fish like flounder, snapper, and speckled trout, fried, broiled, or grilled. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore and Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, no cool spots. NolaAC.com, no cool spots.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. Here's New Orleans native son, Corey Johnson.
Native son, great New Orleanian. No, that's me.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
New Orleans native son. No, that's me. That's me, lady. Huh? Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Yeah, I was born at Southern Baptist. That was the name of it, Baptist Hospital on Napoleon back in the day. It's now an Ochsner complex. That's where I was born, I guess in uptown New Orleans. And then headed out to, I think for 2 months, we were on Maryland Drive, like right there by the parish line, and then went out towards UNO. That's where I grew up. That house is still there that I grew up in. Somebody else bought it and did a horrible pruning job on the magnolia tree. My mom had the magnolia tree where it was all the way to the ground. So that, you literally, the leaves were on the ground and they cropped it like 10 feet up and made it look like a regular tree with the trunk. It looks fine. I just liked what I was used to. Neither one's worse or better, whatever you're used to. Yeah, you right. A wide open Wednesday. Hey, whatever you're used to. You know what's funny about whatever you're used to? Chinese food. You can get like General Cho's chicken or something like that, and you're used to the place you get it from. And when you go somewhere else, it tastes a little different. You might be like, man, this isn't right, or I don't even like it. You know what's funny? Folks go to Treyen in Mandeville, and they'll get like sesame chicken or pepper steak or something like that, just sort of a traditional Chinese dish. And their first bite, they're like, this isn't what I'm used to, the place in the neighborhood I go to. And then the second bite, they're like, wow, this is pretty damn good. And by the third bite, they're like, wow, the stuff I get in the neighborhood is... anyone can throw that together. It's the most basic vanilla recipe. Boy, this is flavorful. Boy, the seasonings. Boy, the creativity, the thought in this. Now, that's Treyen in Mandeville. 5 Wong brothers, all gourmet chefs. That Mandeville location's been open about 45 years. And I'm still blown away. It's fun walking up there for the first time with friends, family, a date, kids. You bring kids and just the grounds. You could film like Quentin Tarantino could film a Kill Bill movie, Kill Bill 3, and do a scene or two from Treyen in Mandeville. The grounds, the restaurant itself. I mean, if Treyen were built today on that property, I mean, it sits on about 2 acres. It's probably a few $1 million in property alone. It's definitely a $4-5 million build today, that building, that restaurant. A lot of it imported from China, and not in a bad way, like good stuff from China, authentic stuff from China, statues and things of that nature. Anyway, no, the grounds just walking up are special, and the food's even better. It's Chinese cuisine, not Chinese food. And I'll say this too. The Wong brothers have a love of our local seafood bounty. Treyen is one of the best seafood restaurants in New Orleans. Local fresh crawfish and shrimp and crabs and oysters and speckled trout and flounder. It's incredible. Treyen in Mandeville. If you've never been, what are you waiting for? You folks who live on the South Shore, don't want to drive to Mandeville. It's like 25 minutes from Lakeside Mall. You're with friends or family before you know it. A nice little conversation. You're pulling them into the parking lot. It's not 40 minutes. It's not an hour. It's 25 minutes from Lakeside Shopping Center. You cross the causeway, immediately on your left, Treyen in Mandeville. So good. Check it out tonight. You won't be disappointed. And don't forget those lunch specials. Tuesday through Friday, fast food prices for gourmet Chinese cuisine for lunch. It is a super no-brainer. There's nothing like those lunch specials anywhere. Mayor Latoya, the Destroyer Cantrell, a new city hall, 1615 Poydras. A lot of folks know that as the Freeport McMoran building. It is now the DXC Technology building. This isn't like proposed by the mayor. This is something that kind of snuck out. I think Channel 6, WDSU, I think Travers Mackle had that story. Some email or something maybe that was said or talked about. I forget how it actually went down. What was the see if I can find the story real quick, just so I give you the correct information on it. Internal memo. So I apologize. It wasn't an email. It was an internal memo that WDSU obtained. It was an analysis of the potential purchase of 1615 Poydras to serve as the new city hall. I believe that building is owned by Stewart, the old Heritage Plaza, the Foot of Vets. That's a Stewart building, or was. Stewart Enterprises across the street. I think it's Eustis Insurance now. That is or was a Stewart building. The old cemetery guy. I think it's Frank Stewart, if I'm not mistaken. His family. I think they own the building, Stewart Capital. And it sold for $30 million like 20 years ago. So I'm just guessing that building's a 40, I mean, more than that, $50, $60 million purchase. And I guess like DXC Technologies there, other clients are there. City Hall would take some floors and then lease out the rest, I guess. I think before City Hall needs to move into a building like that, I mean, right now there's kind of a strange dilemma. The city of New Orleans, and I don't think it's because of a lack of employees. I think the city of New Orleans is running as inefficiently as it's always run, with 1,000 less employees than it normally has. I don't think there's any drop-off in service any lower than it normally is in Orleans Parish, if that makes any sense. So I don't think like hiring 1,000 employees, I think there are 3,000 city employees. The city's budgeted for 4,000. They want to fill these positions. I say the exact opposite. The 3,000 is more than enough. Try to cut another 750 of those jobs, get it down to about 2,250, almost half of the 4,000. And why are you moving into a big office building with like the mentality of, I got to go from the city hall to something new and the same kind of footprint and square footage? How about getting rid of redundant departments, consolidating 2 or 3 departments into one, eliminating half the workforce? City Hall and public government is not supposed to be an employer. City Hall public government is supposed to go out and find people that will employ people, that will bring businesses here, the private sector. It isn't about taxpayer finance jobs through inefficient, ridiculously pathetic, inefficient New Orleans city government. City government's inefficient at the best run city in America. At the best federal agency, it's inefficient. So no, we don't need to hire the 4,000 people or the 1,000 more to get to 4,000. The opposite, get rid of another 750 or 1,000 more. And then going from like the same footprint to just a newer building. I've often said this, New Orleans needs to build a brand new city hall, the perfect place. It would give this neighborhood a leg up. It is literally right next door to the CBD, to downtown, about 8 blocks from the present city hall. Go into Central City, consolidate a block or 2, and build a new city hall there, and a state-of-the-art, technologically advanced city hall for thinking like it's 2030, the future. Just go look at any city that's got their run right, small or large city, find out what their city hall is all about, how they built it, how big their population is, how many departments they have, how many employees they have. Mirror that. Copy something that is lean, mean, efficient, that seems to be working well. That's sort of, the coveted model of city hall, of city government in America. No, we should be building a very advanced, futuristic, state-of-the-art city hall that's smaller, that, downsize the city government, technology. There's going to be people working at home, scared to say that one, not getting monitored at City Hall, much less working at home. But no, I don't mind a new City Hall, but I don't think that's the right plan. Let's go to the North Shore, Slidell. Rouse's Markets phone lines 504-766-9480. 766-9480. Connie is in Slidell. How you doing, Connie?
I'm good.
Good. What's going on? What's on your mind?
I actually didn't have to Google this because my daughter used to work with someone who had ALS, and Steve Scalise wrote the Accelerating Access to Critical Therapies for people with ALS to be able to get therapy easier, and it was passed.
What was the legislation again?
The Act for ALS.
The Act for ALS, and that's it's
accelerating access to critical therapy.
No, I'm that's new to me. I believe you, and why would I not? I'm going to Google it just so I make sure that he's the sponsor. Act for
me second guessing myself.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. The ALS. I'll find out. Don't go anywhere, Connie. Jason's going to get some info from you. We're going to tighten you up with a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. Thanks so much for calling, Connie. I love it. Connie and Slidell. Yeah, I've got Steve Scalise not passing a single law or bill with any legislation. But this one, I like this Act for ALS for sure. Coming right back.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Tommy's Lock and Alarms is now hiring service and installation technicians. Great benefits, great pay, take-home vehicle. Apply today. Tommy'sLockandAlarms.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSAgency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSAgency.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Enjoy outdoor dining on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine, Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Don't forget you can catch the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on television every weekday afternoon, 4 to 5:30 on Cox Channel 4 TV and Spectrum Channel 333 television.
No matter where you're checking out the program, radio, TV, intranet device, live streaming, maybe YouTube. Yeah, a few months ago, we picked it up, the old YouTube channel. Click to subscribe, Corey Johnson Neutral Ground on YouTube, live every day and after the fact. Yeah, subscribe to our YouTube channel and send the link to somebody else, too. Yeah, you're right. CoreyTalks.com, our website. You can do a little live streaming gimmick there. No matter how you're checking out the program, always brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex on the Car Corner. Williams Boulevard and I-10 in Kennebra, right on the corner, right on the price. Lamarck Ford, for nearly 50 years, the big store, number one Ford dealership in the region. Ronnie Lamarck, bridging the gap, going from the lake in Kenner, the Lamarck Automotive Complex, across the parish to the river and Harahan, and scooping up legendary Crescent City Ford. It's now Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood, Harahan, Jefferson Highway, right off the river, and legendary Lamarck Ford, the big store in Kenner by the lake. Every day, this program on radio, television, YouTube, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. Brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Pretty cool, pretty convenient. You know, folks that live uptown, that live in, Old Jefferson, Carrollton, near River Road, probably a lot easier to go that way. Even Earhart Expressway into Elmwood to Jefferson Highway to Crescent City Ford than maybe going out to Kennebra. So choices. And don't kid yourself. Crescent City Ford, Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood on Jefferson Highway is a full-blown Ford dealership. It's a truck dealership, but here's the deal. What cars does Ford sell besides the Mustang now? It's pretty much all trucks and SUVs. So everything but the Mustang available at Crescent City Ford. A wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Yeah, every day. The program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway in Elmwood. Pretty impressive. Ronnie Lamarck just does not slow down. Spent $50 million in Kenner and then still went across the parish and bought Crescent City Ford. It's mind-blowing. He's like 70-something going on 30-something. Doesn't slow down. He must be getting his NAD from Springfield Wellness Center. Springfield Wellness Center in Springfield, Louisiana, right outside of Hammond. I'd say about a 55-minute drive from the Superdome,
less than 45 minutes from Tiger Stadium. We're going to head up to Springfield right now. It is a beautiful place. You go down this little winding road. All of a sudden, it is oak tree line, century-old oak trees along a little bayou, century-old mansion with a big wraparound porch. Just an incredible facility, incredible grounds. You know you're in the right place when you show up at Springfield Wellness Center. It's very just sort of a decompression chamber when you exit your vehicle and are outside of the place. Pretty amazing. Paula Norris-Metier gets to enjoy it each and every day. How you doing, Paula?
I'm doing great, hon. How are you doing?
Yeah, I was telling a buddy of mine about it yesterday. Butch Healy, who you met, came in a few months ago, and he was so happy. He took me out to dinner. You know, I'm friends with his son, and I'm friends with Butch, and we went to dinner last night, literally because he was so happy with the NAD treatment at Springfield Wellness Center. And he said he didn't mind being there because it's such a nice place and the staff was so nice. And so we were.
Oh, that is wonderful to hear. It really is wonderful to hear. And it is a beautiful place.
Well, we laughed because I said, Butch, people used to live there at one time. And we're like, wow, what a place to live.
I know.
It's incredible.
I know. We live here now.
Yeah. Now, how did this work out, Paula? Where were you guys before for the first 15 years or so? And then how did this facility become available? And how did you guys go, boy, this is a perfect fit. This works well. Because at first you're like, this is, you know, almost in the country. This is a big mansion on a big piece of property, not really a medical facility. But then you guys are a medical facility, but you're kind of not one with the way you do things. Tell us how it all came to be.
Well, we have been in this area, in the Springfield area, for about 12 years. We were on a house or on the property in a smaller house. This whole property is owned by the Neal Corporation. And Deborah Neal is a dear friend of mine, and she's the one who invited us after Katrina to come here because we lost our clinic that was in Slidell at that time.
So this was just like a temporary facility at first. Hey, I'm going to help you out, Paula. Continue your work here.
We moved over here after Katrina, and we've been here ever since. And then we outgrew the small house, so Deborah and I swapped houses.
Wow.
She's now in the little house, and we're in the big house.
That's funny.
And it's beautiful here. It really is. It's fabulous. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to truly describe how serene it is.
No, it is.
But,
and one thing is, it is difficult. And what's good about that, Paula, you never can oversell it. No matter what we say, no one's going to show up there and go, they're going to be disappointed. Oh, Corey and Paula were exaggerating. They're embellishing. It's nice, but it's not that nice. There's no way to describe it properly. You could, I said you could get a camera guy out there, a photographer. He could just walk in a circle, and that could be a Louisiana tourism commercial.
Right. Absolutely. I might borrow that idea.
I'm telling you, it's incredible. It's a 360, the bayou, the house, the grounds, the artwork, just the trees, everything.
The labyrinth with the big angel.
Yeah.
I just did the labyrinth last night.
No, it's
the full moon. So
there you go. Yeah, exactly.
It's all beautiful.
Yeah, that full moon was big last night too. Paula Norris-Metier is with us from Springfield Wellness Center. Hey, Paul, if someone asks, what do y'all do at this incredible facility? What would you tell them?
I would tell them that we're taking care of people's souls. We are helping people overcome addictions. We're helping people overcome CTE, post-traumatic stress. We're dealing with people who have Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. We have people who just want to feel better, and they don't have any problem other than their aging.
Yep.
And in the aging process, we've got a whole bunch of things that we can do to minimize the discomfort of that aging process and keeping people healthy. So I'm telling you, this one little molecule, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, which we call NAD,
yep.
That little one molecule is so essential to our health that's the reason why it does so many things to help us.
Yep. It's fuel for our cells. Literally, it is fuel for our cells. As we age, it diminishes in our body. And what they do at Springfield Wellness Center is literally top off the tank, get the NAD back to 30, 35, 40-year-old levels. And and it has tremendous results. It started off for addiction, alcohol, opioids, that kind of stuff. And that was it. And then almost yearly, every few years, a new thing emerged that it was effective with because I don't know, in the beginning, I guess y'all were thinking, boy, this really helps with addiction. And then maybe you started understanding this is like a brain therapy. So it's got to be more than just an addiction helper.
Right. Well, that's why we call it brain restoration now, because actually, interestingly, we didn't venture out to think about, oh, well, this would help with, all these other problems that the brain might have. But we had people knock on the door and ask for our help. And we just said, well, it can't hurt you, but we've never done it. So just if you trust, we trust. And then voila, there were these unbelievable outcomes that I can't even, it's hard to say anything about it without sounding like I'm boasting or whatever, but It's not. It's just absolutely a beautiful thing. I just saw two people who've been coming here for their treatment once a month for Parkinson's, and you wouldn't even know they had Parkinson's. They're just doing so great. And I look at them and I say, you look wonderful. You doing okay? Oh, yes, I'm great.
No, and Parkinson's, as folks know, like Alzheimer's as well, can just be so debilitating. And then the drugs that, medicine that doctors put on you, it's I'm not going to say the Alzheimer's and Parkinson's patients are guinea pigs, but it's to help maybe. And it's not any kind of solution. And in some ways, it even can make things worse. Hey, Paula, let's pick it up next week on that.
Sounds great.
Folks can find you at springfieldwellnesscenter.com. The phone number is 504-291-4000. They'd love for you to come visit. Paula, have a great week. Absolutely. I'll talk to you next week.
Okay, you too. Take care.
springfieldwellnesscenter.com.
Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30, and they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan. Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to Tommy'sLockandAlarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Recently, Kim Kardashian was seen at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Let's party.
Can you think of any other celebrities that won't sue us? Super Discount Store in Chalmette. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. 3235 Paris Road.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Don't forget you can catch the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on television every weekday afternoon, 4 to 5:30 on Cox Channel 4 TV and Spectrum Channel 333 television.
Yeah, you right. That voice guy's right. 4 to 5:30, Yorview, Louisiana. Cox Channel 4 all over the state. New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and beyond. You Charter television subscribers, Spectrum Channel 333, 3 cubed, 333, half the double. I don't know what it is. 333 Charter Spectrum 333 all over Louisiana. Why is the devil 666? I never understood that. I don't know what that means. The old devil, stay away. You're no good. We don't want you here. It is a wide open Wednesday edition of the program where you're the show producer. Who is that? Connie picking up a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate? Connie, I don't think Scalise authored that bill. I don't think it was it was an Illinois senator. It was I see Quigley. I see Murkowski. Actually, they're the ones that wanted to speed it up. Who actually, I forgot who authored it. Anyway, it wasn't Steve Scalise authoring it. I'm not saying he wasn't for it or voted for it. It was a bipartisan bill. It's for ALS. I think everybody's for that bill. But as far as I know, Steve Scalise has never authored any legislation, much less have a bill pass Congress and Senate and become law in the United States of America. Steve Scalise has never authored any legislation in his life in D.C., which is kind of mind-blowing. And now he wants to be House Majority Leader, which to the Speaker of the House, the number 2 position in the House.
He won 74% of the vote. All the Louisiana incumbents did, like we're kicking butt and taking names. John Kennedy, 62%. That's a landslide. Anything over 60% is total domination. I mean, think about it. It's like time of possession in football. What was the deal the other day? The Saints-Ravens? Ravens had the ball like over 38 minutes. Saints had it like 22. Think about that. Yeah, one team gets above 30 minutes time of possession, one gets below. It starts expanding. It gets more disparaging. It's, a possession or two. Same thing on an election. I mean, you're getting a 53%, 54%. That 53%, you're 6 points ahead of the opposition. 54, you're 8. 57, you're 14 points better than the opposition. 57% to 43 is kicking the other guy or girl's rear end. Total domination. John Kennedy, 62%. That's just kicking butt, taking names. Clay Higgins, the genius, the used car dealer. By the way, the folks that took me out to dinner have been selling used cars for 40, 50 years. We spoke about Clay Higgins last night. I said he's a used car dealer. They laughed and said, yep, because they're not the typical used car dealer. They have ethics, morals, integrity. Clay Higgins is probably the, I stuck the old lady in the brown car. I sold grandma a Corvette. Anyway, Clay Higgins, 64% of the vote. Just mind-blowing. Clay Higgins is like a little chimp, like a little, what kind of animal? Like a weasel. Like, I don't want to say chimp, but chimp's an intelligent animal. That's friendly. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. A chimp will bite your face off. But a friendly chimp is friendly. Yes. Anyway, Clay Higgins is like a weasel. Steve Scalise, 74% of the vote. It's like, man, people in Jefferson, people around this. Steve Scalise just kicking butt and taking names. Has not passed a single bill. Has not one law that Steve Scalise authored in his life in D.C. It's like, what are you doing up there? Garrett Graves, 80%. Troy Carter, 77%. Julie Letlow, 68%. This is total domination. It yells two things. One, no one getting in these races is viable against the incumbents. No one. That's why we probably had like a 40% turnout around the state for this election instead of north of 50, because folks were like, we already know who the winner's going to be. No reason for me to waste my time and vote. Already know who the winner's going to be. Isn't that sad? No, because I don't know. I wouldn't be like a proud Louisiana politician. That's like an oxymoron. I'm a proud Yugo plant, worker. I work at the Yugo plant. That car, what is it? The Fiat 300, the Fiat 500. I make that car. Sure, the doors fall off if you slam them too hard, but hey, I don't know how you can be proud being a Louisiana politician, honestly. They're like Ofer, getting nothing done for us. Getting reelected over and over again, pitting black against white, Republican against Democrat. I'm going to have to get Oliver Thomas on because he might be able to best explain this. It's odd to me when I still hear commercials like this, who was it? Duplessis and Mandy. What's Mandy's last name? I forget. That Senate race, state Senate race. And Duplessis is black and Mandy, whatever, is a white woman. And their commercials just running like, with a voice that you would clearly describe as black. No one in New Orleans would go, that's a white person. And this voice is saying things like, we need to make sure we don't lose that seat. They gonna take that seat. We need to protect ourselves. It's about us. It's just sort of weird to me, like a black person represents the black community better than a white person represents the black community. And I know what you're saying. Yeah, no blank, Corey. Well, I got news for you. I
don't represent the white community better than a black person, Asian, or Latino could represent the white community. I can promise you that. What's the secret that I've got that helps me represent the white community better than someone who's non-white? Anyway, we'll talk about that and more. 5 o'clock power hour next. 107.9 FM, 93.9 FM, New Orleans.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home. Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe.
If you are a loved one or suffering from addiction, listen to Springfield Wellness Center's founder, Paula Norris Metier.
I feel personally, when I walk around on the grounds, that it's sacred ground. It's healing. Just the environment is healing. Just being here makes one feel like that, I can let go. I can let go of the worry. I can let go of the stress that I've been carrying around for a long time. We don't shame anybody. We don't blame anybody. We don't judge anyone. Just that alone really is the foundation on which everything else that we do is done.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center, 504-291-4000.
Just call us. That's all. And we'll be waiting for you.
504-291-4000. 291-4000. Springfield Wellness Center. SpringfieldWellnessCenter.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarm. With smart home technology, control lights, locks, cameras, thermostat, and your alarm, all from your phone or laptop. Smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Schlemiel, Schlemazel,
If you enjoyed Fonzie and Potsy and Ralph Malph and Happy Days, we're glad to bring you a spinoff. It's Laverne and Shirley coming your way next. Corey Johnson, the Nutriground program has been canceled, never to be seen again. Corey Johnson has moved to Alaska, where he's going to become a fisherman. His dream, to meet Sarah Palin. Maybe they'll get married. She's now single. He fell in love with her. She looks like a lens crafter's model with the eyeglasses. He wants to be a grizzly bear husband. Jeez, where does that nonsense come from? Corey Johnson back at you. Yeah, you right. 5 o'clock power hour on a wide open Wednesday. Brought to you by Young's Dry Cleaning. Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery. They're manless locker locations called Young's Express. They're all over the metro area. To find out more about this New Orleans institution, since 1940, the best dry cleaner in the business, and it's not even close. Young'sDryCleaning.com. Young'sDryCleaning.com. 5 o'clock power hour on a gorgeous, wide open Wednesday. Brought to you by Young's Dry Cleaning. What's up with that darkness outside? Oh, yeah, it's not daylight savings time anymore. It is, or whatever the hell it is. Why do we fall back? Let's just stay sprung forward. Springed forward. Just stay put. It's ridiculous. Anyway, getting dark in about 15 minutes. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. Got a full slate this 5 o'clock power hour. Thanks for checking us out on the radio. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM. We're on TV, Cox Channel 4, Spectrum 333 till 5:30. Radio till 6. YouTube till 6 o'clock. Corey Johnson Nutriground, our YouTube channel. Click to subscribe. Live streaming at CoreyTalks.com, our website, CoreyTalks.com. A lot to discuss, including election night, midterms, not the red wave that was thought, predicted. I don't know anyone, myself included, that wasn't thinking more Republican victories and clear Republican victories. But it says two things, sort of kind of solidifies what I've been talking about. You can be a Republican, you can be a Democrat. I'm not trying to talk you out of either one. But remember, you're on a losing team. You know, pick your poison. I mean, it's a 12 wins. It's a 12-game season like college. Democrats are 2-10. Republicans are 3-9, or flip it around. They're nowhere near 500. They're not a playoff team. They're not a bowl team. They're not making a deep run. They're not a Super Bowl contender. They're not a championship contender. They're a losing team and nowhere near 500. Republicans and Democrats, losers, not getting much done. I know you hardcore Democrats, you hardcore Republicans. Man, if our ideologies was implemented, we'd be doing a lot better. And you hate the opposition. I get it. Part of the problem in America, this divisive politics. You want to know who benefits from this? The politicians. distract you from what's important, come up with just something that rolls you up. Hate the other side. Got to go vote because I hate the other side. And your side doesn't do anything for you. They're busy hating the other side. Anyway, a lot of election results, but not the big red wave because of what I just said. I mean, people that say they're a Republican, under 30% in America now, under 30%. People that claim they're a Democrat in America, under 30%, under 30%. Folks that claim to be an independent now, over 40%. So this thing's going to hit a head. Eventually, these extreme left and right are going to get out of office, I think. And historically will be looked back upon as a joke, as pathetic, as worthless. No, so that didn't happen, the red wave, as anticipated. And I think also it yells about Donald Trump. It yells about Donald Trump, just caustic and obnoxious and over the top, beloved by many Republicans, beloved and not beloved by many Republicans. I mean, Quinn Hillier, I get him on the program all the time. Read his stuff. There's nothing liberal about Quinn. Thinks Trump is a cancer for the Republican Party. I agree. And then you got a guy like DeSantis. I mean, DeSantis is a no-brainer if you're a Republican. Donald Trump without the drama, and that's being nice. Donald Trump without the drama. Ron DeSantis. Donald Trump with a real resume. No, Donald Trump without the baggage and Twitter ridiculousness. I don't know how Republicans lose by going with DeSantis and jettisoning Trump, abandoning Donald Trump. I don't know how Republicans lose with that. I think you get whatever you like about Trump as a conservative or Republican, don't you get every single bit of that in Ron DeSantis? And don't you get it without all the baggage and the name calling and finger pointing and ridiculous stuff? Trump was calling DeSantis something the other day. What was the disparaging name he called him? I'm trying to remember. Try to pull that up, Jason. But it didn't work. The crowd didn't laugh. They didn't cheer. They're like, whoa. I like Ron DeSantis. Yeah, I'm here for you, Trump. I'm at your rally, but I really like Ron DeSantis. He's the future. Biggest loser. Besides the Biggest Loser, he did something with his name, I think. The Biggest Loser. I mean, it's just so, Ron DeSantis isn't a loser. He just kicked Christ's rear end, 60% of the vote in Florida. Something with the DeSantis name that wasn't creative or funny. Desensitized or just something like that. I don't know what it was, Jason. It was ridiculous. Not funny, and the crowd didn't. Yay! The kindergarten joke. They're like, wait. I like Ron DeSantis. Trump without the drama. It's true. Anyway, he won big. All the local incumbents won big. John Kennedy, 62%. Clay Higgins, 64%. Steve Scalise, 74%. Garrett Graves, 80%. Troy Carter, 77% of the vote. Julie Letlow, 68% of the vote. Democrat Warnock, Republican Walker, a runoff in a month in Georgia. No one getting over 50%. Also, Senate seats in Arizona, Nevada, too close to call. New York, California, they've got undecided House seats. Fetterman, the Democrat, beats Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, whatever. Republican J.D. Vance beats the incumbent Democrat in Ohio, Tim Ryan. Some up, some down. Not the red wave. I think, first off, I think how Republicans would describe Biden is just doing horribly.
I think there's a lot of Americans, I'm not going to say they think he's doing great, but they don't think he's doing horribly. Some Americans. And I'm not just talking about Democrats that'll say Biden's doing fine no matter what. It could be captain of the Titanic right before it goes under. And, hey, man, there's still the tip of the boat above the water. I'm not talking about those people. And then Trump's obnoxiousness. Ron DeSanctimonious, exactly. It's just ridiculous. And no one laughed and no one thought that's great. Ron DeSanctimonious. That's what Trump called Ron DeSantis. No, it's the little name calling and silly little things with no substance, nothing behind them. That entitlement mentality that Trump has doesn't work when you're talking about Ron DeSantis. He's beloved by Republicans. And a lot of Republicans think Trump is a problem and DeSantis is the answer. So, Jim Fink said it best. You got two quarterbacks, you got none. Republicans have to figure out Trump or DeSantis. It's a no-brainer for me. There's an easy choice where you can win the presidency, and there's another choice where you probably won't win the presidency. Just a caustic dude. I mean, I love when the hardcore Republicans dog Biden. It's like Biden won because your guy Trump was so caustic. There were so many people on the fence that said, I'm going with Biden. Just can't vote for Trump because of ethics, integrity, morals, principle, whatever. Too caustic, too obnoxious, too ridiculous, too off the grid. Yeah, Biden didn't win because Biden was super strong. Biden won because I guess he was viable and Trump was caustic. DeSantis doesn't have that baggage. Coming right back.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years. Serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockandalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The true voice of New Orleans, telling it like it is.
I'm very important.
The mouth of the South, Corey Johnson.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Yesterday on the program, we had Eileen Carter on, if you remember. She was giving an update. She's behind the recall of LaToya Cantrell. NoLatoya.org. Election day yesterday, they had 8 locations. She was at one out in New Orleans East. Right when we were having on for an update, she broke a story. She's like, just moments ago, one of our locations right by McMain High School, Claiborne and Nashville. Somebody walked up. It looked like they were going to sign. They stole 5 signatures, jumped in a van, and took off. Anyway, Eileen Carter told us about that. She said Thursday or Friday, tomorrow or Friday, that NoLatoya.org is going to have a press conference about some, potential numbers they've reached, some goals, where they are. And then Eileen Carter said something interesting yesterday. She said, look out for a Lee Zurik report tomorrow on Fox 8. And now I see it posted on Twitter just a few minutes ago. I have reposted it. Tonight at 10, Lee Zurik investigates Mayor Cantrell's top guest at the city-owned Pontalba Apartment and why your tax dollars pay for many of his visits. Zurik investigates who is Mayor Cantrell's top guest and why your taxpayer dollars pay for many of his visits to a city-owned apartment. Now, I asked a few weeks ago because the mayor, somebody walking on the plane recognized her, snapped a photo of her. She's down looking into her phone, doesn't even notice the photos being snapped. There's a gentleman sitting next to her. Looks like he's with her. Maybe he's not. She got a loan from Liberty Bank. Who's paying back that loan? That's going to be interesting. That's another news story. Who's paying back Mayor LaToya's $29,000 loan from Liberty Bank to pay for the flight upgrades? So she pays that back. But that didn't include a flight to Amsterdam, a 2-day trip to Amsterdam. I mean, jet lag alone. Who goes to Amsterdam for 2 days? It's mind-blowing. Rich and wealthy people don't do that. She flew first class. The pictures were posted on social media. There was a gentleman sitting next to her. First class. Is he security? Does he work for the city? Did the city pay for that ticket? Was he a friend and he paid for his own ticket? Is he someone that had nothing to do with the mayor? Corey, I don't know who that is sitting next to the mayor. Just another person. They seem to be together, just looking at the picture, leaning in, both on the phone together. Didn't seem like they were strangers. I just want to know who that person was. And if it is a city employee, and if it's not, did the city pay for that ticket? And if so, why? Who was the person on the flight to Amsterdam flying first class with the mayor? And I do not believe even the $29,000, the loan from Liberty Bank, I think someone else is paying that loan back, or the mayor's going to use campaign funds to pay that loan back, because she doesn't seem to be sweating it, writing a check for $29,000, which was a loan from Liberty Bank. And she doesn't seem to be sweating it where she flew again first class to Amsterdam for 2 days. Now, I'd like to know who the gentleman was sitting next to her. Again, could be nobody, a stranger. My instincts tell me otherwise, because it's Mayor LaToya Cantrell, who has proven time and time again, she does not give a blank, does not care. Just brazen, in your face. The more people complain, the more crazy junkets she goes on. First class French Riviera, $18,600 for a plane ticket. It's mind-blowing. There's what? 1% of 1% of 1% of the New Orleans population that can relate to that? Maybe a few hundred people out of 1.2 million that can relate to, I'd spend $18,000 on a first-class plane ticket to fly to the French Riviera. I'm worth $80 million, someone like that. I told you who flies first class for $18,000 to the French Riviera. Jimmy, we got to get to the French Riviera. This multi-million-dollar deal we're doing, you got to get in front of those people. Get on a plane tomorrow night. That's who pays $18,600. You got to fly first class, dude. You got to lay out your papers and get this thing done. We got to close this deal. This multi-million-dollar deal's at stake. Get on the plane. We don't care if it's $18,000. Go, go, go. That's who flies for $18,600. The mayor books that ticket 3 days out. Tonight at 10 o'clock, Fox 8, Lee Zurik investigates Mayor Cantrell's top guest at the city-owned Pontalba Apartments and why your tax dollars pay for many of his visits. Go get him, Lee Zurik, relentless like a pit bull. Thank God for investigative journalism. Otherwise, we'd never know this. You people that are the media. Grow up, children. Thank God for the media. The media is brilliant. What was the Supreme Court ruling? After, I think it was the Washington Post, the New York Times, Watergate, Vietnam, and the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the press and the media and not the Nixon administration and the Supreme Court justice. I forget what Supreme Court justice it was, but this was the quote. This is what they said in the ruling. In the First Amendment, the founding fathers gave the free press the protection it must have to fulfill its essential role in our democracy. The press was to serve the governed, not the governors, the people, not the elected officials. No, the First Amendment, the founding fathers gave the free press the protection it must have to fulfill its essential role in our democracy. And you can go, oh, they're liberal, they're conservative. Check it out. It's the free press. Some might be biased, some may not. Their reputations, time and time again, doing stories. Do you believe them? Do you not? It's pretty easy. It's pretty simple. No, the free press must have the protection to fulfill its essential role in our democracy. Essential role. No, investigative reporting is essential. That's the scary part about newspapers going away. You know what we've traded for newspapers and investigative reporting? These talk shows, these political talk shows at night, these folks that have very little to no journalism background, yapping off, spouting off opinions all day. I've got much more journalistic background than the majority of the folks that you see on network television news giving opinions. That's what we've traded. Some mouthpiece just yapping opinions, doing no investigative journalism, never breaking a story, never doing any reporting. That's what we get in place of the newspapers. Now you go, Corey, big deal about the newspapers. No one wants to read a physical newspaper. It's more than that. I just throw out two quick stories. The Indianapolis Star and the U.S. gymnastics team and Nasser, the doctor, molesting all those, gymnasts, hundreds of them over years that would have never been broken if not for like a year of investigative reporting by not one, but two reporters from the Indianapolis Star. Man, I wonder why Frank Smith and Bill Magoo aren't writing their usual Sunday stories, because they're investigating this. And then it comes out like one Sunday and that's it. Maybe a follow-up story or two and that's it. And they had a year investigating it. Think about steroids. The two guys with the San Francisco Chronicle, those two writers. Barry Bonds, steroids in baseball. Then Congress investigates because the media, investigative reporting did their job. So trading investigative reporters for Waters World or Gutfeld isn't a good trade. Isn't a good trade. No, I love investigative reporting, especially in a politically corrupt New Orleans and Louisiana. We need more of it. We need more exposure. There's a lack of transparency, and we don't seem to care as citizens. It's weird. Thank God for the media, because I'll tell you what, in my opinion, and not because I'm part of it, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about Zurik and Hammer and Travers Mackle. They have a higher standard than the citizens of New Orleans and Louisiana, generally speaking. You know? They have a higher standard. Corey Johnson with you on a Wednesday. Yeah, you right. No, I can't wait. I don't watch local news. I'm telling you, I just go to the websites. I can't tell you who anchors 46826. I worked at Channel 26. I anchored news with a twist sometimes with Susie Rosen, with LBJ, with Tamika. I anchored it. I never, ever have seen news with a twist in my life. I don't think they think it's on anymore. I have no idea who anchors 46826 News. I don't know when their newscasts come on. I do not watch local news at all. I don't have 30 minutes to watch local news when 20 plus minutes of it is nothing interesting to me as far as my show. I go to the 46826NOLA.com, the Lens, all these different local websites. And then I get to pick and choose which story I want. Well, I'm going to avoid the cat stuck in the tree and the fire department went out to Harahan. But I'm going to look at this Lee Zurik story tonight. I'll probably be watching some Fox 8 for the first time in a while, and I'm not knocking them. I do not watch local news. I go to Fox 8's website, Fox 8 Live, all the time. Tonight at 10, Lee Zurik investigates Mayor Cantrell's top guest at the city-owned Pontalba Apartment and why your tax dollars pay for many of his visits. The entitlement mentality of LaToya, the Destroyer, Cantrell. No, and her words and actions keep the recall alive. She's been sort of quiet the last few weeks. Thank God for Lee Zurik. She ain't going to be too quiet anymore. I told you Monday, it was from last Friday night's Pelicans game at the arena. LaToya the Destroyer, just with the entitlement mentality, shows up at the arena with no ticket, just with her security crew. Pelicans don't know she's showing up. Arena folks don't know she's showing up. That's fine, whatever. Hey, it's the mayor. Come on in. What's the security guy in the maroon coat working for the Dome going to do? Not let her in? Hey, let me call security first. So her security entourage, 2 or 3 cops, and then friends with her, a few more people, they all walk in the arena. So 6, 8, 10 people. I don't know how many it was. Little entourage. Where do they go? Straight to the Chairman's Club. What's the Chairman's Club? It's a club that is reserved for a few dozen people, maybe 100 folks, 150 folks tops, that literally have their feet on the court. They're sitting courtside. What's in front of them? The game. No, nothing else. What's to the left of them? The players from the Pelicans or the opposition, the coaches. They're on the court. Their feet are on the court. Those tickets, I mean, Google. Jason, pull up a courtside Pelicans ticket. They're like $595, $695, $795. I'm not kidding you. One ticket, one game, $500, $600, $700 to watch 2 hours of NBA. Why don't you multiply that times 41 games? It could be $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 for one ticket. Some folks are paying 6 figures, $100,000 plus for a pair of tickets down on the floor. So they get this Chairman's Club, high-end food, high-end drinks, and just people that paid these exorbitant amounts. Now you can go to that snobby, whatever. I'm not in the Chairman's Club because I can't afford a courtside ticket. That's how American capitalism works. I'm not jealous of it. I'm not bummed out about it. If I got invited in someone gave me a ticket and wanted me to go in, I'd go in. I'd enjoy it. But no one gave me a ticket. I wasn't invited. I didn't buy the ticket, the ridiculously expensive ticket. But that's what's beautiful about the NBA and New Orleans, the viability of some people that can afford them. And those people make the team viable in New Orleans. Without them, the NBA would not be here. My ticket purchase doesn't cover the NBA. It's those expensive suites, club seats, courtside seats, where a single individual pays $500, $600, $700 for a ticket. Any prices, Jason? $1,500 on the court. A regular ticket. And that's just to buy through the Pelicans?
But I was through SeatGeek. I'm looking at different ones.
Give me one, baby, from the Pelicans. SeatGeek might have it bumped up. I'd like to just know the retail price. $545, and that might be a cheap one.
That's the most expensive I've seen.
Chairman's Club, $550 to sit courtside for sure, maybe more. And the mayor and her entourage go in there and pilfer free high-end drinks and food. It's just pathetic. And then they wander around the arena and they find like an empty suite and they go take it over. It's just, call the Pelicans. Hey, y'all, it's Mayor LaToya Cantrell. I want to come to a game. They'll set you up. But the mayor just, reacts. Oh, let's go to the Pelicans game. And I'm the mayor. I go where I want. I just show up with my entourage and they let me in. And then goes to the Chairman's Club. Could you imagine the people that are paying the $545 a ticket and they look up and the mayor's there? Did someone invite the mayor? Does the mayor have a ticket? I'm paying this exorbitant amount to be at this game. And this is a nice perk, this Chairman's Club. And the mayor just walks in here and is drinking my drinks and eating my food that I paid for, that the Pelicans provided me because I'm keeping the team in New Orleans. I'm buying the expensive seats. No, the beautiful thing about Mayor LaToya Cantrell, and I've been saying this for months since the recalls started, Corey, don't say that. She'll be quiet. She won't go on the junkets. Wrong. She can't help herself. She'll double down. And me saying she'll double down and hearing it, she'll double down on that. Me saying the mayor can't help herself, I am making the mayor do something, say something stupid. Because she can't help herself. Instead of ignoring me, she doubles down. No, and it's been quiet lately. I figured a junket, some kind of bomb was going to be dropped. About 2 weeks, haven't heard from the mayor. The Enola Gay must be in the air and the Bombay doors are open. What bomb will be dropped? Well, we're getting it tonight at 10. Lee Zurik investigates Mayor Cantrell's top guest at the city-owned Pontalba Apartment and why your tax dollars pay for many of his visits. The mayor lives on Louisiana off Claiborne. Apparently has not been living there, has been living at the Pontalba Apartments since last December for almost a year, rent-free. The Kaare Commission, what is it called? French Market Corporation, just an entity the city controls. Every board member LaToya Cantrell appointed. This is the great part of the story. There are some folks that are LaToya Cantrell supporters. There's a talk radio show host that's up the rear end of the mayor. Head inserted, clear up the rear end of the mayor. Just takes up for the mayor no matter what. Was against the council voting for the mayor's appointees. That passed, by the way. And always wondering about why these people look at the mayor, why it's a big deal about her flights, why is it a big deal about the Pontalba? You can use that apartment. Yeah, not for personal use. Just simple things that this guy doesn't get because he's, maybe on the mayor's payroll. He's got a reputation of that. We used to call him the payola kid. He used to be an FM disc jockey. He'd take money from local musicians that weren't very good and play their records on the radio. So this payola joker always taken up for the mayor and was dogging Lee Zurik and Fox 8. Who watches hundreds of hours of video? Who follows the mayor and records all this video? He's asking these questions, and the dopey people that listen to this cat, boy, those are good points. No, they're not really. The French Market Corporation has cameras around the building, the Pontalba, that they control. And those cameras, there's multiple ones. Few of them happen to just be on several apartments down that row where LaToya Cantrell's apartment is. I guarantee you every apartment door on that Pontalba has a camera somewhere around it where if it's not right on the door, it's catching 2 or 3 doors at a time, enough to see who went in or out of an apartment. So essentially, Fox 8 gets this video from, ironically, the mayor's people, the French Quarter Corporation. And then this is the real easy part. It's called fast forward. You got a little jog shuttle knob. You can go 10 times speed, 25 times speed, 50 times. And you're accelerating till you see, you're looking at that one specific door that you know is the mayor's. And you got some intern from college working at Fox 8, maybe 3 or 4 of them, going through different days of the video on fast forward, stopping only when someone enters or exits that building, that apartment, and then seeing who it is. So it's real easy. It's not sitting there watching hundreds of hours of video, probably knocking it out with 3 or 4 interns in an hour or so. A month worth of video, 600 hours of video, 23, 24 days, however many more days of it, knocking it out in a few hours and finding out who's going in and out of there. So that's easy. The cameras, who's following them? No one. It's the mayor's own cameras that busted the mayor. That's what Fox 8 used. The mayor, someone's stalking me. No one's stalking you. Sorry, mayor. What an ego, huh? Someone's stalking me. No, it's a beautiful thing, investigative reporting. It's a beautiful thing, transparency in government. It's a beautiful thing when there isn't transparency in government and the investigative reporting and the mayor's own cameras bust the mayor. And tonight's a beautiful thing because it's about transparency. I don't wish any ill will on the mayor or any human being. Ill will, ill health, none of that. Hope the best for everybody. But when someone is screwing us around that's a public official, I want them caught. I want it exposed, don't you? You folks with the sickness of I like Edwin Edwards and his deviant behavior and him getting away with stuff, I hope Edwin Edwards beats the rap. There's something mentally wrong with you. You know he's crooked. You know he's guilty. You hope he beats the rap and you get off on that. You need some self-evaluation. There's something wrong with you. Don't go to church and pray and I'm godly when you think like that because Jesus is going, man, something flawed with you, that you know Edwin Edwards is crooked, yet you hope he gets away with it. No, I'm the opposite. When the crooked guy's exposed, I hope he gets popped and goes to jail and goes away because it's us that he's supposed to be representing. It's our taxpayer money. I don't like getting taken advantage of. Maybe you do. I don't. So no, I love journalists that are investigative reporters, that are righteous, that are going out there like Lee Zurik. No, the mayor's wrong staying in the apartment. Go rent an apartment like anybody else would do if you're having problems at home. No, and I guarantee you this guy, whoever this person is that city taxpayer money's paying for his visits is the cat sitting next to the mayor on that first-class flight to Amsterdam. I will bet you on that. I'll bet you on that. Watch. No, that's one thing. Look, I respect the media, like not mentioning that. I'm a talk radio show host. I can say, and I've disclaimed it. I haven't pointed the finger. I've said, who was the guy sitting first class next to the mayor on the Amsterdam flight? Is he with the mayor? Did the city pay for his flight? Is he some stranger and the mayor has nothing to do with this guy just sitting next to him? Just want to know who that is. The city can either say, one with the mayor, has nothing to do with the mayor. I think that person was with the mayor. I think the city paid for that ticket, if I had to guess, my opinion. And I think that's the mayor's pal, and it's probably the same one who's been showing up at the Pontalba Apartments. We'll find out. No, just go on social media. There's lots of pictures with the mayor with some dude, obviously like a boyfriend or something. I don't know what it is. But this mayor just doesn't care, and it's a great self-fulfilling prophecy, this recall. The mayor can't shut up, and she can't stop doing things, and it keeps the recall alive. Can't wait to watch Fox 8 tonight and can't wait to get Eileen Carter on maybe later in the week, tomorrow or Friday. Supposed to have some media conference about something big. NoLatoya.org. Now, just as far as like righteousness, A lot of folks are confused. They think the 53,000 signatures plus that need to be had ousts the mayor. It doesn't oust the mayor. It gets an election called where we vote. New Orleans voters can vote the mayor back in, finish the term. Or you vote her out, like she has to leave. And then the governor calls another special election in Orleans, and qualified candidates that are running for the remainder of her term run, and someone gets a majority. They're the next mayor for the remainder of the term. If it's not a majority, they have a runoff between the top two, and there's your next mayor. So the 53,000 votes don't oust the mayor. It just sets up a third election for the mayor. She won a first term. She won a second term. This is a recall election. Do you recall her or not? Now, I think the mayor deserves to have that third vote, where the citizens of New Orleans, knowing all they know now, all the crap she said, should have known it, not voted her in for a second term. But we're gluttons for punishment in New Orleans and Louisiana. And look who's running for governor. Jeff Landry and the Republican Party earlier this week endorsed him. No, the mayor deserves to be thrown out again in front of the citizens. And do you stay or do you go? Another vote. I think she's earned that. She's earned it. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's right now? The quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. Lunch and dinner 7 days a week, full of New Orleans characters. As New Orleans as it gets. Iberville, corner Tallahassee, in the heart of Mid-City. Like Scott Craig says, more is better, more of the good things. Why aren't you at Katie's right now?
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our top bench of more exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
If you are a loved one or suffering from Parkinson's disease, listen to Springfield Wellness Center's founder, Paula Norris Metayer.
People started coming to us and asking for help for things other than addiction. We have a Parkinson's patient here. He comes in once a month and gets his little booster because that's what you have to do. In 2 hours after he started, his tremors in his hands stopped. So he said, Paula, your major marketing challenge is that it's too good to be true. But it's true. It truly is true. We can't say that all of these things have a cure, but these things happen and they're real.
Call Springfield Wellness Center, 504-291-4000.
Just call us. That's all. And we'll be waiting for you.
Make the call, 504-291-4000. 291-4000. Springfield Wellness Center. SpringfieldWellnessCenter.com.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Not an FM disc jockey, not a former politician, Corey Johnson.
You're not the DJ. You're a raconteur. You're a storyteller. You're a griot.
It's true. It is? Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Boy, the weather's nice. What a glorious day today was. I don't think we got out of the 70s. Tomorrow, more of the same. Wake up in the morning, low 60s, kind of cool and crisp. And then we get into like the 70s and the humidity's under 50%. That's tomorrow and Friday. Then Saturday, kaboom goes El Adino meet. Yeah, you get the old winter mix rolling in. We're going to have like 40s and 50s. Some 60s maybe, like low 60s. High 40s, lots of 50s, low 60s, like cold. You're going to have to wear socks and long sleeves, a sweater, a jacket even, that kind of thing. Who knows? Maybe a few days, early morning, late night, some gloves and a cap. No, actual winter coming Saturday, and it'll go Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday into next week. High 40s, lots of 50s, low 60s. That's about it. Starting Saturday for about 5 days. This summer and November thing we've been getting lately, it's about to come to an end. And I think this about 40-plus day run we've had, it's about 7 straight weeks. We've had just outstanding weather. Maybe about an inch of rain in 1 inch in Metro New Orleans in about the last 40 days or so. The driest I've ever remembered and the most sun and pleasant weather I've ever remembered in New Orleans. Today was incredible. This morning was magnificent. Out in the sun, blue skies, sunny, a breeze blowing that was cool and crisp, 60s, 70 degrees, low humidity. Tough to beat. Tonight, drop some coals, boil some crawfish, boil some seafood, do something. Get outside. Landscaping, hunting blind, fishing camp, tennis, golf, whatever. No, I mean, now it's dark, but get outside, take a walk. It's nice weather. Maybe some outdoor dining at Lebanon's Cafe. Lamb chop, shish kebab. I often mention the shish kebab at Lebanon's because I love shish kebab. And who has shish kebab in New Orleans? I grill shish kebab myself. I got skewers. I got little metal skewers. I got the killer ones with the wooden handles that are long. You know, that literally goes over my Weber kettle. The metal, and they're not round. They're square. So they sit flat on the edge. Really well thought out. Great skewers. I do a lot of shish kebab cooking. I'm Syrian, Lebanese. I'm an Arab. My mom's 100%. That's why I know about Lebanons and all this. I'm a Yadi New Orleanian. So is my mom. The only Arabic I know are some curse words and, stuff like that. But my Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, 100%. I mean, she made all the stuff, grape leaves and kibbe and tabbouleh and majedra and hummus and baba ganoush and all these great things. So I know a little bit about it. And Lebanon's Cafe has all of that. A great way to start is with shish kebab, shrimp, beef, chicken, or lamb. And you can do 2. You can do a combo, pick 2 of the 4. Or 1, all shrimp, all beef, all chicken, all lamb, or lamb and shrimp, or beef and chicken, whatever you want. Chicken and shrimp, whatever. And then you get 2 Middle Eastern sides to go with it. And when the weather's like this, I recommend outdoor dining, under the green awning, under the oak trees, right on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, where Carrollton is just 1 lane of traffic in between Claiborne's and the River Bend. Lebanon's Cafe, so good. Love it. I always say this too. You Metairie, Old Jefferson folks, Lebanon's Cafe is less than 5 minutes away from the intersection of Causeway and River Road. Less than 5 minutes. River Road, across the tracks, Oak Street to Carrollton, hook a left, 3 blocks down on your left, Carrollton at Jeanette, can't miss it with the green awning. Lebanon's Cafe, so good. Corey Johnson with you. A wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Thanks so much for joining us. Tomorrow, I believe Oliver Thomas is going to join us. We'll talk about election results. Also, I want to ask Oliver about this because Oliver's pretty fair and objective, and he's going to give you a thoughtful response. When black folks in an election, have commercials. This Duplessis Senate race. Duplessis won, a black male, against Mandy Landry, a white female. And the commercials, they weren't disparaging about Landry. It wasn't that kind of attack, but it was, I shouldn't say it's weird. It's strange. It's always happened in New Orleans. I've heard these all my life. But it literally is, we need to maintain that seat. That seat was, Karen Carter's seat. It's always been a black Senate seat for the last few decades. We need to make sure we're represented. We don't need to give up that seat. It's literally like saying, we got to keep this seat black. Black people, it's important that you vote for a black person because they're going to represent us better than a white person will. It's 2022. I'm not trying to say, hey, man, a white person knows black better than black. I'm just trying to say white people can represent black people. Asian, Latino can represent black people. Black people, Asian, Latino can represent white people. I vote all different kind of people to represent me. I voted for black, white, Latino, Asian, male, female. Isn't it kind of a misnomer to make an assumption that a black person, strictly because of skin color,
can better represent black people than a white person that maybe cares or is motivated and the black person's corrupt or not. And I'm not disparaging black people. We could flip the script and say white. I can tell you this. I don't represent white people, and I don't think I can represent white people and white people's needs or interests, seriously, better than an Asian, Latino, or black person can. What do I know being white that, oh, this is what white people want? I have no idea. I have no idea what that means. Now, I'm not a minority either, so I get it. But we'll visit with Oliver Thomas, who's black, and I'll ask him that question tomorrow. Why is it okay for commercials to be like, we need to protect ourselves. We need to make sure we, essentially keep the seat black. Vote for the black person. Running against a white person. We don't need a white person representing us. It's very important we have a black person representing us. Just seems crazy. Could you imagine like David Dork? Hey, vote for the white guy. It's important. We don't need a black person representing us white people. That would just be so racist and insane. What's that, Blue Boy? It's 2022, and it seems a little over the top, but it is New Orleans politics. Blue Boy, you're a genius, buddy. 18-year-old Basset Hound nailing it. What, buddy? Thank Jason. Thank everybody for watching and listening. Tomorrow, a Thursday program, 93.9 FM, 107.9 FM, New Orleans. Thanks for the legal ID info, Blue Boy. Mañana.